Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. We're going to talk about comic books again, like two days in a row talking about the comic book industry. So we're going to talk about the business side of it. We're going to talk about late comic books. Marvel Comics apparently is running very, very late on their books. And this could be a number of reasons as to why they're late on their books. I would have to guess off the top of my head, supply chain issues. And I was actually made aware of this by a tweet from Ethan Van Sciver, who retweeted or posted a link to Bleeding Cool putting an article up about it. So you're going to follow the trail here. But it's an interesting conversation to have, because everybody, regardless of whether or not you are a mainstream publisher, a small publisher, or just doing your own crowdfunded books, you're going to have problems with printing. Now, we can argue, I guess, about what is causing the delay, whether or not it's creative or it's because of supply issues. But regardless, everybody's going to have problems going forward, getting books out the door. In fact, we are looking at a situation right now. People are like, well, where are your next books? Well, we're working on them. We've actually got 3 projects that we're working on currently. A couple of those are halfway done. We are not actually going to solicit any books on crowdfunding, whether it's Indiegogo or Kickstarter or whatever we're going to do, until the books are done or mostly done, because I know people these days are very impatient when it comes to crowdfunding. And it's not just a Comicsgate thing at all. It's not just a Comicsgate thing. There are mainstream pros, people outside Comicsgate, people who hate Comicsgate that are also late on their books. It's a crowdfunding problem. It's an issue that, if you solicit a book before it's done, there are unforeseen delays sometimes, and a number of reasons. And again, that's a whole nother conversation, but I'm just saying this affects everybody. And so is the printing issue. It's going to affect everybody. I just had a conversation last week, actually, with our printer, the same printer that did the second run of the Shadowbinders books. We used to use Print Engine. They had problems during the pandemic because, their books come from China. So we went with a US-based printer, and very, very good work. And they did the second run of Shadowbinders. And last year, it only took I want to say a month, 2 months to get those books. And that was at the beginning of the supply chain issue. I talked to my contact over there last week to say, okay, if we're going to pull the trigger on these other projects, what kind of time frame are we looking at? And they told me 4 to 6 months to get books in hand. Like if I gave them the file that day, and said, print this book for me, it's going to take 4 to 6 months, and that is a U.S. printer. So this is very real, and I'm not making excuses for anybody, whether it's, people being late on crowdfunders. I don't know their situation. I don't know what's going on, or Marvel Comics or whatever. But I can tell you that the supply chain issue is 100% real. Comic book publishers have been dealing with this for months. There's a paper shortage, supply chain issues. A lot of publishers were working with printers overseas, and that whole thing got disrupted. But I think what's going to happen, out of this is that the comic book industry is going to kind of take a second look at some of the things it's been doing and be like, do we really need to do this? And unfortunately, I think the corporate overlords are going to take a look at the situation and be like, hey, yeah, we didn't have any comic book revenue coming in. Like we did. Do we really need to do this? I don't know. Do we really need to do this anymore? So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 266,000 subs. Thank you for the support. We do talk about comics, having worked in and around comics for a number of years. I worked mostly on licensed books, a lot of Disney stuff. I worked on a lot of Disney stuff. And then we went out and did our own webcomic and published some books ourselves. And we're looking at getting back into that, but do not expect anything that we're working on right now to be in your hands for at least another 9 to 12 months. And again, supply chain issues. It's a thing. So this is coming from Bleeding Cool. Penguin Random House, the exclusive distributor of Marvel Comics to the direct market, issued the following note to comic book retailers the other day saying, please be aware that Marvel is making measurable schedule changes to many comics and collections. We will update you as soon as these changes come in. So Disney has to be looking at this situation and being like, we really don't have to publish as many comics, do we? Because, everything is upended. I mean, ever since the pandemic, everything has been kind of broken and upended. But let's talk about this. Johnson says a scarcity of paper in the market, printing presses available, or lack of availability, followed by a Canadian train strike that followed the trucker protests. I know they had a train strike too. All had an impact. Yeah, a lot of comics publishers published in Canada for a long time. However, with the demand for cardboard boxes, which caused a lot of scarcity, declining again, paper may be a little more available. There are some of the bigger delays. Those are some of the bigger delays hitting Marvel right now. These are not final dates, of course, but they give you a scale of the issue. And they talk about, all of these books being pushed from July to August, et cetera, et cetera. So it's going to be really interesting because, comic shops, unfortunately, are going to take the brunt of it because they always do. They took the brunt of it when Diamond decided to curl up and crawl under the desk in the fetal position during the pandemic. And they're going to take the brunt of publishers pushing back or canceling publications because of issues. I mean, I've got friends that work at other publishers. They're telling me that they're looking at, 6 months until they can get press time. I think it's going to get worse because I think what's going to happen is, one, printing in China is probably off the table for a lot of publishers at this point. Some of them may shift from Canada to U.S. printers. And I know there are some printers overseas in the UK that do a good job. I think Mixam is one of the UK printers that's been doing a lot of crowdfunding, projects too. But yeah, it doesn't matter if you're crowdfunding or you're working for Marvel, DC. Getting press time is going to get harder and harder. And I would say if you're going to self-publish comic books, allow for that, because you can't just call up the printer and be like, "Yep, I got a new book. We just push the button on the campaign and we got to print this thing and I need to have it in like 2 months because that's what I told my backers," and they're going to laugh at you. They're going to be like, "Hell no, we cannot get books out in 2 months. You got to think ahead." And I think you're going to have to think ahead, even in crowdfunding, and allow for the extra time it's going to take, because I don't think it's going to get much better anytime soon. Just my personal opinion, but yeah, everything is going to take longer. So just keep that in mind if you're launching a campaign. Keep that in mind if your favorite comic is late. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Now he's just tasty, delicious, rotten flesh meat, which I can consume. Don't read into it too much.
Just like our museum, the cafe's open and Brewster is eager to serve. I don't think this was in the show. Run. Oh, you got splatted. Oh, she was begging and you kicked her in the face.
I don't care.
Hey guys, Squid King here, and today we're in a...
Not girl boss at all. She is not a material girl.
She is not. Oh, it's Christmas time here in your mom. Nobody wants to join your mom.
What?
Like I can't even cook kid cuisine right. I would last about 2 minutes with Gordon Ramsay.
What? Where is he?
He's hiding. He's hiding from you.
Better.
Oh my God, you got the axe.
Walker, does this look like Steven Universe? Let me punch him. Well, I'm just here for the wax. Right where you belong.
Get in the dirt.
Well, that was a combination of events I probably shouldn't have put together. Anyways, let's open this bottle too.
Chica Pinata. Is that official?
Oh, no.
There's a bootleg.
Hello. I'm sorry.
Hey guys, it's Diamond Tool.
Let's make a farm.
Like and subscribe and buy my merch.
I mean, while you're here, you guys should really like and subscribe and buy our merch, all of which we have.
That is true. You can't run them carrying trash. You can get away with one F-bomb per PG-13 movie.
I wish I'd known that sooner.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to wrap this effer up.
Yes.